Going on, it's your boy Story Seller Jet with another episode of the That's So Fire Talk Show, and today we have a special episode for you guys. And tuning in with Doug Hensel, aka DJ Fresh. Let's go.
What's up, buddy? I like that intro, by the way. I want to have you like voice over all my DJ events with that intro.
That's awesome, man.
You're a built-in MC. You know that, right?
I didn't know that. Maybe that would be another new life for me, huh? MCing there. But DJ Fresh, it's such a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Today we're gonna be talking a lot about various things, a lot of really cool things that you have going on, from DJing a bunch of really cool and awesome events, including the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
From launching like an agency right now that is crushing it, Flying Goat Agency.
Yeah.
And also from like developing games as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
a lot of things to keep my ADHD at bay. So yeah, we're just staying busy out here.
That's awesome. So let's start by doing a quick introduction of who Doug Hensel is, aka DJ Fresh, and let's dive in deep into the conversation today.
Sure. So born and raised here in the beautiful Tampa Bay area. For the last 25 years, I've had my professional DJ and entertainment company, which is called DJ Fresh Events. Started when I was 19. I used to work for, back in the day, it was Wild 98.7, which was our very first hip-hop kind of contemporary radio station. Now it's called Wild 94.1. Worked in the street team, kind of kicked down some doors to really get in with the radio station, worked my way up, became a radio personality, and then became a DJ. Fell in love with, I always loved music, but for me, it was more about being able to entertain a crowd and being able to have people locked in a room with me, dancing, forgetting about all their problems, their worries, the fact that they just broke up with their girlfriend, their boyfriend, and this or that, paying their bills, and just being all there in the moment together, and being able to orchestrate that and curate that vibe and that experience for them was truly something special. And here, 25 years later, I've built that up, and it's even more special now than it was when I first started. But I've been able to utilize the DJ and the entertainment space to open up other opportunities and other business ventures too now. So, here, fast forward, we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of the Flying Goat Agency, based out of Tampa Bay, which is absolutely amazing. It's a full-fledged marketing ad agency using a lot of really cool, fun, creative AI tools to transform, people's businesses. And we have a video game development company that I'm a partner in too called PlayPal Studios, which we develop immersive games and experiences on the Roblox video game platform. Yeah. So we actually just last month launched a huge game and activation and even concert experience with The Weeknd. Who's The Weeknd? The Weeknd.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was a massive project for us, and it was a little over a year in the process for that. But so cool to work with his whole creative team on everything. And it was just really, really amazing. We have just such a great group of young developers that are so crazy talented that really are changing the game of what it's like to create experiences on the Roblox platform. So we have a bunch of other cool, fun projects that we're working on with that. And then, I'm still doing my thing with like HSN, representing, national and global brands live on air. So like Beats by Dre headphones, Sony, Toshiba, Samsung products, cool, fun electronics brands and toys and cool, fun things like that. So yeah, man.
That's really cool. Man, I love all the things that you've been working on.
I love all the things that you've been working on, all the things that you've been building, like this cool, awesome studio that we're in, because you allow myself and my company to come in here and produce creative content for our clients. So I'm grateful for this partnership.
Super grateful for it as well. And the sky's the limit. I'm super excited for wherever that's leading and all the great things that we're going to be doing together.
Agreed, man. Agreed.
Yeah, one of the things that we like to talk about in this talk show is the entrepreneur journey. So how did that started for you, and what was your first... I know you have a pretty cool story for the DJ thing too. Yeah. So if you don't mind sharing a little bit of that, how did the entrepreneur journey start for you?
Sure. I think, growing up, a lot of people don't really know my kind of story. And I've debated, I really wanted to tell this story, but a lot of it's kind of embarrassing too sometimes, because it's, you sometimes can't pick your family, right? And you can't pick your kind of situation growing up. Luckily, I had an amazing mom. My dad was not really in my life, kind of in and out, and made not good decisions in life. So I saw what that did, and I saw, that it kind of led him down kind of just a destructive path. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to kind of go the opposite route. So, being raised by a single mom, luckily I had an amazing grandma too, but, my mom worked really, really hard to just be able to provide things like, a new outfit for school or this or that. So I always wanted to work at a young age. So anytime I was able to mow lawns or just bring in some extra income for our, for my mom and I, or even my grandma, I would try to take advantage of that. So I worked at a pumpkin patch when I was 13, 14, just to make some extra money, a few $100 over the season of selling pumpkins. And, I got my first job really working at Publix, when I was 16. I was actually trying to get hired at 15, and I would stop by there once a week, and they're like, dude, stop coming by here. We can't hire you. You have to be 16. But I just wanted to show them I was hungry, and I was just hungry to just be able to start earning a living and making my own, way somehow, some way. And then, worked at Publix, and then when I was 17, my senior year in high school, they made an announcement over the intercom system saying that they were our brand new baseball team, which is the Tampa Bay Devil Rays back then. They were holding open auditions for bat boys and clubhouse positions. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. What an opportunity. I literally skipped school right there. I left school, got my car, drove down to Al Lang Stadium, and it was locked. Nobody was there. So I was like, damn, what can I do? Who can I call? So I wound up calling just a bunch of people, and this guy that I knew through my mom, he had built a condo for the GM of the team. Wow. So I wrote a letter, and I called him up, and I said, can I give you this letter, and can you get it to him just so I can get an audition, just so I can get a chance to get my foot in the door? So luckily he did that. They let me come down there, and there was 300 some kids that were trying to apply for this position. Yeah. And it was wild, man. I was just 17, senior year in high school, but I played baseball growing up. And then, I walk in the clubhouse for my first thing, and there's Wade Boggs and Fred McGriff and all these iconic baseball players that I grew up watching and idolized. And I was like, all right, don't be unprofessional. Handle your stuff. Don't ask him for an autograph. And I just went in there and I just busted my butt. I was the first one there, last one to leave. And they would keep telling other kids all right, you don't have to come back. We're not going to hire you. And they kept asking me to come back. And then I would go up to every ball player and say, hey, my name is Doug. If there's anything you need, I got you. Any errands you want run, whatever you need, I'll do it. Just to let them know that I was comfortable with them and that I treated them like an equal, and then I wasn't starstruck. Yeah. Because once you're starstruck in any kind of celebrityism, sports, entertainment, you're done. Yeah. But once people feel comfortable around you, then they trust you. So I wound up, getting hired after spring training, and then I became one of the team's first bat boys and clubhouse guys, and taking care of all the players. And then fast forward 2008, became the team's official DJ, and then that's what led into DJing in stadiums. And then wound up growing my DJ company into doing more corporate stuff. That's how I got in with Majestic and Fanatics. That's how I got into doing Super Bowl, representing Fanatics and working with them. And then Major League All-Star break and, Daytona Motor Supercross for the AMA Supercross Championship with Monster Energy and Daytona Speedway, playing in front of 50,000 fans. Just crazy stuff that man, I never thought a kid from St. Pete, Tampa would be able to accomplish, but it was all just because I took that leap of faith and saw maybe a potential opportunity lane and would not let anything, get in my way to get there and achieve it.
Yeah, and I feel like there is tons of lessons from what you just described over here, from obviously the hustle, being over there and skipping school and doing all of that. I guess my question for you.
I don't advocate for skipping school, but if you have an opportunity of a lifetime, then I would say skip school and go jump on it.
Yeah, but what advice would you give to those people? I feel like this is something that is lacking today for people that are not that hungry,
Right.
or they're not like really doing things above and beyond to be able to impress others, to be able to get what they're looking for. So what advice would you be giving to people watching this right now, as it relates to that specifically?
Yeah, well, one of the things now that I'm seeing with this younger generation is that they don't have the hustler mentality. Now that I'll be 45 in August, and I come from, you needed to make your own way, you needed to pave your own path, you needed to outwork everybody else if you wanted to even be noticed, right? Not let alone just get the job, position, the opportunity, whatever it is, but like, everybody's so lazy because they're glued to their phones, they're glued to their tablets, they're glued to any kind of electronic device, but people don't seem to really want to work. So those that are hustlers, those that are going above and beyond and slightly under promising so you can always over deliver on whatever it may be that you're doing, those are the ones that are going to have massive successes. Those are the ones that are going to open more doors to more opportunities. And I explain it this way, like, it's not just about networking, it's about building up a connection base of influential people, and not necessarily influential people, but just people that also have other networks. If you know 100 people, but I know 1,000, who do you think is going to have more opportunities?
The people with the 1,000, for sure.
The person that has 1,000 people in their network, right? So the bigger your network, it's like casting a net, right? When you're fishing, you cast a big net. Well, if you're casting it where there's not a big school of fish, you're not going to get that many fish, right? Yeah. So it's the same kind of principle, but you have to, for that younger generation, you have to outwork everybody else. So as hard as you think you're working, know that there are tons of other people out there that are working harder. You just don't see them.
Yeah.
So you have to literally outwork yourself and outwork what you think other people are working if you want to become the best at your craft or whatever that may be that you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So you've been able to do a lot of really cool events with DJ Fresh, including the Super Bowl, for the bigger teams here in Tampa Bay. What is it like to be able to play at that higher level?
Yeah, it's wild. It's really cool because the people I meet, the fans I meet, the experiences that I get from it. I mean, I love entertaining, right? So sometimes they'll bring me in to host as well. So I might just do pop-up interviews with football players or like Dan Marino in Miami. And it was like, so it just kind of was cool. You have to be kind of a hybrid in that aspect, right? So because I'm a live host, event host, and TV host, I have the hosting aspect too, but then I have the DJ entertainment side too, which makes it super fun. And I come from the old school way of DJing. Like I learned on turntables. So like I'm up there cutting, having fun, doing my little tricks. It's not just sitting there pushing buttons like some of these laptop DJs and controller DJs do now. I'm a party rocker. So when I'm there, it's a full immersive experience, and I'm giving people, more of a show versus it's just background music. But I love engaging with the fans and talking to them, or they'll come up and talk to me because I'm approachable. And I feel like that's how you have to be. But, whether it's weddings, corporate functions, private events, big, huge celebrity events, no matter what it is, it's really just entertaining and making sure everybody that's there is having a great time, and you're playing a little bit of everything for everybody so they can dance, party, hang out, feel special. Or even like Super Bowl, when people are shopping and getting their custom jerseys, or at the MLB All-Star break and stuff like that, you're providing a great experience at that fan fest, right? Where everybody's getting all their cool, fun stuff, and the families are shopping and hanging, right? You have all the different brands there. That's kind of like a different vibe than if I'm playing, in like Rays Stadium, and I've got like a minute or a 2-minute hit where I got to pump up the fans and get everybody energized. And we got 20,000 or 30 or 50,000 fans. If it's, Daytona Speedway, it's different because then I'm executing that crowd pump up experience for that short period of time before they go back into their program of maybe writer intros, or they have to do an interview or whatever it may be. So yeah, it's been really cool to grow this over the last, kind of 25 years and really be able to be asked to be a part of these events. It's always a humbling experience. Yeah. I walk into this big convention center and I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to play here. Or I walk into the stadium and I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to play here. Or like, just some wild stuff that I never thought I'd be able to do. And, you know, I always walk into whatever space it is, and I just sit there and I look around and I take a big deep breath and I go, yeah, man, you worked your ass off to be here. Like, you deserve to be here.
Yeah.
And it's like just a cool, humbling feeling.
Absolutely. So I know a lot of people, when they are like growing, and obviously that comes with a certain amount of stress or a certain amount
Man,
of...
you ain't lying. Yeah, that's why I got no hair and I'm going gray. Yeah.
So working on the Super Bowl level, how did you deal with stress?
You know, it's wild. I think when you become really talented at something, whatever that is, the stress level goes away as far as doing that job or that performance or that task or whatever, you know, you're doing. The stress, I think, comes from, you know, I'm a family man. You know, I have an amazing wife that supports me, 2 amazing kids. That's the stress. The stress is the balance of life and how you balance that. How do you balance having a career as an entertainer, but then an entrepreneur and having multiple different companies that you have to give your attention to, and then go, oh crap, I got a family too. Yeah, I need to be home for dinner. You know, I haven't seen my family in 2 or 3 days. Like, you know, the stresses comes with the balance of life, of balancing everything from your workload to your family life to what, you know, to, I need personal time too. You know, people are always like, well, how do you do it? And I'm like, well, if you don't understand and can't grasp the balance of life, you know this too, right? It's like, well, Jet needs his time with his boys, right? We need that camaraderie. But Jet needs his alone time.
100%.
Sometimes Jet just needs to go and turn it off, maybe watch a movie or just decompress and lock yourself in a room. And I don't want to talk to nobody for 3 hours.
Yep.
I have to do that a lot because I'm overstimulated because I'm in crowds of people all the time. But then you have to have time with your significant other, right? One-on-one time. Then you have to have time with your family. Then you have to have time with each individual kid too, because you have to have the one-on-one time. So there's a lot of balancing that has to go into being happy at life, right? And that's I think that's where the most stress is. But you know, it's wild, man. Like, I remember the one time I had kind of a mini panic attack. It wasn't in a big crowd. It wasn't a stadium. It wasn't a big nightclub. It wasn't like playing at Live in Miami. It wasn't like... The one time I had like a mini panic attack was a charity event.
Interesting.
It was a charity event called Raise on the Runway that we do in conjunction with the Children's Dream Fund, which are, for the most part, you know, terminally ill children who are basically, we are raising money to be able to give them their dream that they can go on with their family, whether it's go to, you know, Disney World, whether it's go meet a celebrity, or whether it's, you know, go here or there, go see someplace before ultimately maybe their disease overcoming their body and, you know, them ultimately not being with us anymore on Earth here. And it's such an amazing organization. But I was getting ready to host the Rays on the Runway, which we have our Tampa Bay Rays that support us. So the Rays players are walking with these dream children down a runway, and it's a really cool thing. But, you know, we raise money and we raffle off, you know, gift baskets and all this cool stuff. But I started freaking out, literally having like a backstage, like a panic attack. And I've never had one because I you know, type A personality, you're on the go. Like, it doesn't really happen as much, I guess, to maybe somebody else who would be a little crowd shy, I guess, if you will.
For sure.
And it was our one of our top pitchers at the time, Chris Archer, and he put his hand on me and he's like, "Fresh, dude, you do this all around the country. You play all these big shows. You entertain people." He's like, "Dude," he's like, "this is just another. Yes, this is special because of the kids, and you want to do a good job. You know, you raise money, but." He goes, "Dude," he's like, "this is like God gave you this gift, man. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. Like, you got this. Just go out there and just be yourself, you know?" And he gave me this like simple, effective pep talk. And I just looked at him and I was like, "Damn, thanks, dude." And it's like, as soon as he told me that, I was able to like regain my composure and went out there, and the event was just absolutely amazing. But, you know, even people that are in the entertainment industry and used to performing and being in crowds and stages and all that stuff, they still sometimes have to deal with the stresses too, man.
Yeah, I
You know?
guess my follow-up question to that is for anybody out there that is dealing with stress or even like a mild um,
Panic attack,
panic attack or
breakdown, this, that,
breakdown.
yeah, anxiety.
Yeah. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, so look, everybody's different, right? You know, I've got family members that battle depression, bipolar, anxiety. I mean, you name it. And I have a lot of friends too. A lot of friends that I have to talk to that are going through a lot right now. Whether it be a divorce, whether it be a loss of business, whether it be just not knowing how to deal with their mental situations, right? And I think everybody is different, and you have to find help somehow, some way. The first step is talk to somebody. You know, I have a couple of my friends that I can go to and I can call up and I can vent. I can vent to them. One of my best friends, he's also an amazing attorney. You know, we would have this thing where he'd come over to my house, we'd get a 6-pack of beer, we'd go on my golf cart, and we would just go and park somewhere along the water and, have golf cart confessionals. So
I love that.
We would just vent to each other about life and stress and, this and that. And and we could just to dump those feelings off on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even have to respond, just to have somebody listen. So you have to, I think the hardest part is carrying all that inside and it bottles up and then you just explode or you get more depressed and in more of a dark place. But, sometimes people need to see somebody to be on a medication, try a new medication. Sometimes people are having success with mushrooms right now, more holistic approaches and stuff too. So it really just kind of, I think, depends on your body and what your body can handle or not handle, and just starting slow and figuring out how you can manage that anxiety or that depression or that, because it never should be so much to where you're confined in a room and it's a dark space and alone with your thoughts, because it's just super not healthy.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
And a lot of people go through that. I mean, look, in the DJ community, we've had, some of our top DJs, look at Avicii, look at DJ AM, we've lost a lot of guys because everybody thinks, oh, you're a DJ. Oh, you got it made. You make so much money and you're around all these people and you do these celebrity events and it's all the glitz and glamour. It's like, no, there's a dark side to it.
Yeah.
There's a real dark side. People don't want to be your friend when you're on stage, man.
Yeah.
Or they want something from you. Yeah. Or they want you to play their song, or, maybe you can get them into the club for free or pop bottles and all that stuff. And it's like, but when that's done, nobody's calling you.
Yeah.
Nobody's calling you to be like, how are you doing? How are you handling that? I'm very lucky because I have a core group of friends that actually ask me how I'm doing.
That's fantastic.
And it's important.
Yeah. So now going to a lighter part of that. So what are some of the celebrities or high level people that you've been able to meet because of that experience that you're doing as a DJ?
Yeah, it's pretty broad, man. I mean, Pitbull was one of my favorites. We did an event with him back in 2008, I think 2009, at Vintage Ultra Lounge, and we just hosted an after party for him. And he came up in the DJ booth and was like, yo, man, I've never heard anybody playing these mashups at the time, right? This is crazy. Where'd you get this music? And I was like, look, I'll send you all these. You give me your cell phone number and blah, blah. And then he gave me a cell phone number.
Wow.
And he was like, I had a great time. He was, just the nicest guy, man. So humble, so cool. With celebrities, even athletes, it's a hit or miss. They could either be a complete asshole or jerk, or they could be the nicest person in the world. And we've now done like 3 or 4 events with each other. And every time I see him, he's just a nice, gracious, humble guy. We hosted, Rihanna, Chris Brown, right before their crazy situation. So it was a weird time. Not all celebrity events and stuff, are healthy or positive ones. But a lot of great stuff for athletes, wound up meeting Kevin Hart when I was doing the MLB All-Star stuff, and we chopped it up for a while. Jamie Foxx, hands down, is one of my favorites. We've done multiple MLB All-Star parties and events together, and he's just such a funny, charismatic, entertaining dude. And, once again, that opened up because I seized an opportunity. I was in San Diego for the All-Star break back in 2017 or 18, and he's hosting and he's bringing people up on stage for a dance contest. And then I had just got there late because I was exhausted because I was doing like these 12-hour days of like fan fest and interviews and stuff like that. And my client was like, get up there and dance, get up there. And I was like, oh, and I was trying to make a good impression because it was like my second year like doing this with the client. And I was like, all right. So I just get up there and I was like, I'll enter the dance contest, you know, or whatever. And I'm like suited up, dude. Like I'm looking like good. And I'm like, what am I doing? But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be a goofball and whatever happens, happens. So I wound up just crushing it, destroying everybody. I got him laughing. There's like pictures of him and I hugging on each other because we're laughing so hard. Because I'm like, I told the DJ, hey, play some like 2 Live Crew for me, and I want to like do some booty bass, like old school Miami. We're gonna scrub the ground, like we're gonna like take it back to the old days. And the DJ was like, word? And I was like, yeah. I got video of this. It's hilarious. And then we actually wound up becoming friends. And he's like, bro, that was awesome, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then so everybody remembers that. Mm-hmm. Now, like when we see each other, we always revert back to that because it was just a memorable moment because I created that fun, memorable moment, but just being a goofball, but not caring about what anybody thought of me. Like I didn't care. I just wanted to impress and make a good, you know, kind of first impression with my client.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Now, talking about DJ events that you've been doing, you've recently hosted one for our mutual friend Ryan.
Ryan Mangan, yes.
Yes, let's go. And it was all about content.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about like, you know, some of the top things that you've learned since we both are in content industries, some of the things that you've learned from Ryan's event?
Yeah. So Ryan, what an awesome self-made guy. You know, it's cool because Ryan used to come out to all of my big events and support me. And, you know, he was like this kind of punk rock alternative kind of kid with the crazy messy hair and the tattoos and all this stuff. And to watch him grow his company, you know, has just been so cool. I love to see other people win, man. You know, that's the thing. I mean, I think more people need to support each other. And he has, you know, what's called the Attention Summit, right? How do you get attention, right, with content? How do you get more attention? How do you go viral? How do you, you know, what is the right way to film your content? What are the best hooks to use? Do you have a call to action? You know, like, you know, how do you post? When to post, right? There's so many different nuances to content and being successful with content and running content strategy for clients, not just yourself. But he brings in all these, you know, heavy hitters and industry professionals that get billions of views. And I even sit in that room because like I just provide, you know, the entertainment for them. I hype up people when they go up there, play music. I make it a vibe, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what makes that event super, super cool. But he's got people from all over the world that come to his event. And, you know, we just kind of sit back there and we look and I'm like, dude, pat him on the back. I'm like, look at what you built, bro. Yeah. Like, this is crazy. But people just get so many, like there's a WhatsApp chat now that just keeps going off every day and everybody's still fired up. And this event was like a month ago.
Yeah.
And everybody's still sharing advice and tidbits because it's not competition, dude. Like I'm not trying to steal your follower base. Yeah. I'm not trying to do what Jet's doing. If anything, I want to see how I can help Jet and help what Jet has built with his companies be more successful.
Yeah.
I need Jet. I need your studio. I need your resources because I don't have it.
I wish people could see it over
here.
Yeah, goosebumps, baby.
Yeah.
Let's
Can we
go.
do it? You do have goosebumps. Yeah. But no, but I feel like that's how it should be, right? Like if I shake your hand and say, yo, I want to work together with you, or yo, let's do this. Well, put up or shut up, man. You know what I mean? It needs to be that way, you know? And it's nice that I can have this be a home base too. I can bring my clients in. My clients are wowed. You know, we can do cool, fun stuff together like this. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while and we haven't had a chance to chop it up because we're both busy. But, you know, Ryan's one of those guys too, man. And he wound up moving into my neighborhood and then we got flooded and it was just this whole hurricane. So he and his family have been through a lot. But one thing I love about that dude, he doesn't let it bring him down. You know, he just keeps going. He keeps pushing. And then he tells the story. He's authentic to the core. He's like, hey, here's my house. It just got destroyed in the hurricane. And, you know, I don't really have a place to live, but we're just going to figure it out, blah, blah. And I'm like, and then boom, because he's real, his content, millions of views.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
For sure. And one of the key things you just talked about is one thing that I've learned from a really great friend of mine about a month or two ago. Obviously, I've lived my life that way, but he put it in such a nice way. And I was like, yeah, that is it. He says the best collaborators win.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's great.
That's why I've really enjoyed working with you. And literally, we got flooded here during the hurricane, a little bit of water, but we had to cut every single walls down in this place. And then I had a really dear friend of mine, Gary Harper, like coach of mine. He did present at that event as well. And he was in town, and I wanted to chop it up with him and do a podcast. And he was meeting with Ryan, and Ryan literally opened his whole space for me, no charge.
Yeah.
For me to be doing the podcast with my friend that was like already meeting with him. So like I love his heart, and shout out to Ryan.
Ryan, dude, we love you, bro. You're a real one, man. You're a real one.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So the best collaborators win.
Agreed.
Like this space when we were building it up, like I would have just like, hey, I'm only gonna be holding it for myself and not letting other people come and use it.
Yeah.
But I get so much joy like having you come here and shooting with your clients. And I mean that was the dream. You know, coming, to reality. So,
well, yeah, and I think that's the cool part, right? Is that you have a dream, you build the dream. Now you have to execute that dream, right? How do you make that dream something that other people can utilize and be a part of? And that's what's so special about the collaborative nature. Some people you just can't collaborate with, man.
Yeah,
they don't share the same ethical business views. Some people are shady. And you do have to kind of tread lightly sometimes, right? Not everybody's a stand-up person, human, business person. I've gotten multiple phone calls, lately about this other group that is out there producing content. And just because we're friends on social media, that they asked me about him to try to get inside scoop and stuff. And they're telling me like his process and what he does and how he acts and all this stuff. And like trying to charge an arm and a leg, but there's no deliverables list. Like, and I'm just like, wow, and I don't badmouth. I just say I don't know him like that or them like that. But for me, I'm like, dude, you're gonna get yourself out of this market. Like people aren't gonna put up with that. This is a small town, small community, small area, with a big town feel. But you'll get excommunicated from the Tampa Bay area really, really quick by just not practicing good business ethics.
Yeah.
So I think the collaborative nature of the good people sticking together have crazy power, dude.
Absolutely.
Crazy power
Yeah.
to be able to do great things in the community and help these small and medium and large size businesses grow.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know is if it's an idioms or whatever or saying. Rising tides lifts all ships.
Yeah.
That's something that people say. Like when you come together, like you do, like greater things together.
Right.
So now let's transition to talking about Flying Goat Agency. What is Flying Goat Agency? What are some of the things that you guys are doing, and what are some of the really cool things that you've been, putting out?
Yeah. So the Flying Goat Agency is. It's so wild every time I say Flying Goat or hear somebody say Flying Goat Agency because there is no flying goat, right? Yep. It's like, do pigs fly? It was a creative, cool, fun, avant-garde style, company that my partners, Jason Skeldon and Spencer.
Shout out Jason and Spencer.
Yeah,
let's go.
Shout out Skell, man. Skell Art, the goat. It was one of those funny just isms that they were doing a huge show in Japan for Skell and his art show. And it was the first time Skell had done something like that over there. And he absolutely smashed it. So they were just on this creative high. And they were thinking about other stuff that they could do. And how do you build off of being a celebrity artist, right? And they came up with this idea of like, well, let's help other people grow their companies with content. A lot of local business owners already had Skell Art, in their dentist office, chiropractic office, law firm, hotels, this, that, right? So it was like, well, let's reach out and see how we can help them grow. Can we help them with content? Can we help them with running ads, getting them more leads, more customers, more referrals, and then it just kind of spun into that because Spencer is kind of like our back-end analytics guru. So he had already had 6-7 years crushing it in the marketing and advertising space, running the lead gens, the ad sets, doing all the back end stuff. And then with him and Skell, so they started posting these cryptic posts while they were in Japan about Flying Goat. And I'm like seeing it and I'm like, why have they not told me about that? I'm like, what the hell are you up to? And they're like, bro, oh my gosh, when we get back, we got to talk to you. So we wound up having like a 2-hour conversation, and it just made sense to kind of partner up because I had the entertainment side. Skell has the art, community, and culture side, right? I have, years of running other companies in business and being a CEO and founder of other companies. And then Spencer with the marketing and the ad side, on the back end analytics side. And it was just a match made in heaven, man. And we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary as a new company. And, we're helping a lot of large and medium-sized businesses locally and even now in other states grow. Yeah. But it's super cool. I mean, and you just have to do cool, fun, creative, out of the box things, right? If you're not leveraging AI with your business, or if you're not learning it, you're going to die. Yeah. It's Blockbuster, Netflix mentality. There's a reason why Blockbuster is not around anymore.
Yeah.
So how are you as a business owner, or if you have a brand or in charge of a brand, how are you separating yourself from your competitors? What are your 5 points of difference? Are people talking about you? Or are they not talking about you? If they're talking about you, what are they talking about? And you better hope that they're talking about you in a positive light, because those people are your salespeople without you even knowing.
Absolutely.
When we're not in a room, who's talking good about you?
Yeah.
Who's talking good about your brand, your product? Oh my God, you have that too? Oh, I try this. I take this and I've been taking this and it's amazing. It's from a local company and they source it locally and blah, 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 and that kind of thing. But like here, I'll get a phone call. Hey, what do you think about, of Ocean Studios and those guys over there? Like, I was like, dude, I bring my clients over here and my clients are like, what? We had no idea this place even existed. And I'm like, exactly. I want the wow factor. I want to wow my clients. Yes. Can we create amazing, dope content and have them look amazing on camera? 110%. Yeah. But it's the wow factor and it's that white glove treatment that separates just, a service from an experience.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference.
That's totally the difference. And that's what I've been trying to do over here. Like I could have just stopped with the LED wall and
you're doing it. You're not trying, bro. You're doing it.
Yeah, and then
you're doing it.
Yeah, taking all of that and trying to build all the different rooms and the different experience. And I mean, it's just the beginning, bro.
Oh, it's always a work in progress, man. It's like owning a house.
Exactly.
That work's never done.
Yep. I have some other big plans and things that I'm working on that's going to be even even better. So,
Love it.
Super exciting. What do you see that's working the best right now as it relates to marketing?
Well, really, it's storytelling with creative content that resonates with potential customers, right? Or your target audience that you're trying to attract for a product, a service, whatever it may be. We're in a wild state, of how we consume media. Attention span just dropped from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. If you don't have some sort of a cool, attractive hook within the first 3 seconds of your video, they're already swiping off. What are your attention grabbers? How are you grabbing their attention out the gate to let them know that this is a piece of content you should watch for the next 10 seconds? Leveraging AI tools. We're really big on, I don't want to give away too much sauce, okay? But, on LinkedIn, there's a lot of LinkedIn strategies that people just aren't using, and we're crushing it right now because people just don't know how to navigate through that. It's not as flashy and sexy as Instagram and Meta, Facebook and TikTok and stuff like that. But are you utilizing all those different platforms? Are you utilizing TikTok? Are you spreading it out across all the different platforms as much as you can to get your content out there, depending on who you are, what kind of company you have, what product or service you're offering? But really, it all comes down to the messaging and the storytelling with the content. I just had a friend of mine write me. He's like, all right, man, I put it off long enough. I've been seeing all your ads for Flying Goat Agency. What do I got to do? Where do I sign? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, dude, I just can't keep up with everything. I have 3 entertainment restaurant hotspots, and it's just too hard to do that. And that's the missing piece. And, you can't just put a little flyer up advertising specials. If you're running specials and you want to draw people in to maybe a new menu item, maybe a new drink menu, well, you almost have to do a mini launch of that, but you got to do it in a cool, fun video way. Maybe it's a TikTok viral trend style way that a Ryan Mangan would easily, do, but maybe it's just getting some of your bartenders that have a personality, reenacting a fun skit or talking about it, and having good, attractive content of how the drink is being made to make people thirst for it.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
So, there's multiple different ways, but it's like, we love the challenge. We have attorneys, we have a podiatrist, foot doctor group. We have, from one end of the spectrum to the other on clients, but in industries that aren't normally sexy and known as being cool or maybe trendy, or they're not a brick and mortar store you can go hang out or visit. It's not like a cool chic coffee shop. How do you make those businesses, how do you make that brand, that company cool, fun, and attractive? Well, it's storytelling.
Absolutely. For a lot of people that are watching this or that have a business that never done ads before,
sure,
what would be the first step or biggest advice that you would give them if they were considering going that direction?
Well, really, it's a case-by-case scenario, right? Some people need ads, some people don't. It just really depends on what your goal is and what your business is or what your product or offering is and what you're trying to do. If you don't know what you're doing, you can waste a lot of money and go bankrupt with running ads that aren't effective and not knowing how to do it right. So the first thing would be just to talk to somebody who understands what running true marketing ads are like, especially, on Meta right now. Do you need SEO, right? Maybe you just need some Google ads, right? Google AdWords and things of that nature. So there's not a one-stop shop. Every business or every product or service is a little different depending on what they already have in place. Or if they're a new business, then they may have to kind of start everything, fresh. It just depends on kind of where they're at, what they're doing, and what their end objective goal are. We're crushing it right now with insurance agents. Insurance agents, we found this kind of pocket with one of our clients, and then we had just crazy success with her, and she was like, I want to turn you on to my whole other region, and I'm going to introduce you guys to the Tennessee region and this and that and that. And they have like 5,000 agents. And now we're like, holy smokes. So we've had to build up a whole nother division of Fly and Goat agency to just service insurance, because there's so many people that need health insurance, life insurance, and want advice from people who aren't scummy salespeople.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're having to run these targeted ads that relate to people about problems in their life or health issues maybe in their life that they've thought about, and that they just need to feel comfortable with somebody that they see talking to them and go, I would trust that person with putting together a life insurance policy for my family so that if something happens to me, I know that my family's protected.
Absolutely.
Or health insurance, right?
Yeah, for sure. For the people that are watching this, and thank you for all the people that tuned in. This was an impromptu talk show today.
Yeah, he asked me literally like 5-10 minutes before, hey, you want to go live? You want to finally get, and I was like, well, we're here, man. Let's just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Let's go. Let's jump right in.
Yeah.
So we didn't even have time to put nice shirts on.
Yep, absolutely. Which means we definitely need to have a part 2. This was just like a taste.
We'll dress up a little bit for that one.
Yeah, for sure. I do have a client coming in right now, so
time is money, baby. I'm gonna get out of here. Let's go. Yeah.
For the people that are watching this that are interested in learning more and even thinking about hiring you as DJ Fresh, or even Flying Goat Agency, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so socials are the best thing, obviously. So DJ Fresh Events is my handle. The Flying Goat Agency is our other handle, and then PlayPal Studios for our cool video game development company for all you gaming nerds out there.
And we didn't even get to touch on that at all.
No,
we
it's okay,
we need to
man.
talk about that later.
We'll save that for part 2, part 3. We're gonna have a lot of different parts, Chet.
Yeah, I think what you need to do is just like show up here.
All right.
Every
Monday,
Friday, without telling me, and then we're just gonna be like chopping it up.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Normally, I always have a case of the Mondays. This has been the best Monday I've had in a long time.
Let's go,
I greatly
baby.
appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
There you have it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope that you learned a lot from DJ Fresh here. And let's go, baby. It's fire.